It is every Indian student's dream to come study abroad, whether we can afford it or not. In my final year of high school, I began applying to the schools in the United States and the United Kingdom. When I received my acceptance letter from Wake Forest University, it was the happiest moment of my life. This was because my uncle also had graduated from Wake Forest Business School, and so I was very excited and didn't give much thought to how I would fit into a new environment. I just thought that going away from my family would be difficult, but since I was living in a boarding school for 5 years, I thought it would not be too hard for me. Although, if I had done some research earlier, I would have realized that homesickness is a major stressor for college students in general, and international students in particular face this issue because they are further away from home and cannot see their family.
The United States is home to the world's most premier universities and colleges. As a result, last year, 974,926 international students studied in America. This was a 10% increase from 2013 and serves as a record high. Even with this growing large population, many international students initially struggle with acculturation, social barriers, and homesickness, which can negatively affect their academic success in the classroom.
As an international freshman, I faced some issues in the classroom. One of the instances among the others is my dialect. It led to a few issues with my professors. In math, I was used to using parentheses for calculus, but I learned that here brackets are used, and in my first exam, I lost a few points on my test due to this. I think this is why personal experience matters, as it shows the obstacles the international students face in America.
A study in 2010 found that international students struggle more with homesickness than American students studying at American universities. Do you think that you had the same experience, like adapting to the new lifestyle in America?
Yeah, I would definitely agree that there's like a lot of cultural shock, and with that, there's also homesickness. When I came here first, I'd been in a boarding school before coming here, so I was pretty sure that it wouldn't affect me as much, but I was completely wrong because it did.
Okay.
So I had to like try and make sure that I don't keep thinking about home. Otherwise, I would miss home quite a bit.
Suyash Kashri, an Indian international student interviewed by Mudit, mentions that he's had irritating experiences with baseless stereotypes about Indians. Specifically, Kashri has encountered people who think India to be a nation populated by snake charmers. Mudit himself has had people ask him whether India has electricity. Despite the generally welcoming atmosphere that Indian international students find at Wake Forest, their experiences have not been without some ignorant inquiries.
Do you think any of the moral values, compared American to Indians, do you think that has any effect on your homesickness?
Not too much, but yes, to a certain extent there would be some, because our moral values, for example, some Indian moral values would be like being at home and respecting our parents, not arguing back, in class listening to our teachers. So those things we cannot. When we come here, we see that people keep arguing, reply back, and those things don't work at home at all. So it's been a shock.
Right, great. According to a study conducted on Jamaican international students, acculturation, psychological adjustments like stress, depression, and self-esteem affect the academic success of students. A further study conducted by Roy Sikar, another social scientist, has shown that parental expectations towards choosing a major and family culture have also affected academic success for immigrant students as compared to domestic students. To examine this even more about international students' well-being at American universities, Leong, a social scientist that specializes in Chinese studies, conducted a study on coming to America that showed Chinese international students face more troubles in academics and social life due to their dialect and social lifestyle when compared to other international students like Indians or even Americans. Chris Otomo directly studied this dilemma with Indian international students to find the extent to which social, demographic, language, and culture experience can predict their academic success. You attended an international boarding school in India. Do you think that after having that experience, you felt like you'd be able to just go into college and be a part of the college in-group? Or do you think that, still being an Indian international student at an American university, do you think that you'd consider yourself as an out-group? Or, what was your thoughts on that?
So, I've almost finished my freshman year now. And at first, I definitely thought that the Americans were kind of an out group, because I thought that they wouldn't take me as a equal, because it is generally thought of Indians to be a minority in America.
Okay.
And but now thinking back to what I had thought of earlier, I would say I was kind of wrong because I have made a lot of American friends, and that could also be because there are less Indians here. There are, like in our freshman class, it's just me and one other girl.
Okay.
So I would definitely say that now I don't think of them as out groups, and I've made very good friends
So would you
with
say
Americans.
that you feel like you're in the in group now after spending some time at Wake Forest?
Yes, I have adapted to the environment, and I think that has helped me make good friends.
Awesome. That's great.